Okay, so I've applied the pocket onto the insert of the sewing box lid simply by cutting out the pocket from the previous template, and I folded the top over, ran a straight stitch for a more finished look, and I ran a zigzag stitch, and I plan on covering that up later. For the bottom of this, or the rim of this, I just simply applied some hot glue and then folded it over. Now it's time to insert this in, and what I'm going to do is do it squirts at a time. I'm not going to apply the bead of glue because by the time I get to one part or the next, the glue would have dried. So first I just want to finger press this inside of the way it's going. Want to make sure that it's going to fit nice and snug, which it is. And I'm going to start from this side. My hot glue gun is nice and hot, and I'm just going to apply it a nice generous amount. And I'll apply some here to the body of the grid. It's very hot actually. Oh, it's going to bleed through because I think I put a little bit too much, but we'll make it work. Yeah, I can see it trying to bleed through. And I'm just going to press, make sure that it's firm and flush up against the rim of it. Press it inside and hold. And I can feel the heat of the glue through the cardboard. And I will hold this for about 20 to 30 seconds. And then I'll come around and I'll apply the glue all the way around. The body of the sewing box measures 8 inches high and 37 inches all the way around. What I've done is cut the fabric 8 inches, but then I trimmed off 1 inch for the height, and then I tucked in 1 inch for the hem. And what I'm going to do is place the hemline at the bottom of the basket with the bead of glue and carefully glue it down, and it will have a nice clean hemline. I cut the fabric in 2 strips and I made a seam sewing both parts together, and then I'm going to fit the fabric around the box like a tube, pin it in place, and then simply slide it on. So I'm going to turn the box towards the back because I want the hemline or the seam lines to match up with the one seam line that I have. So I have one seam line. I'm going to put it here. And then just kind of softly measure it all the way around. And then bring the excess over just to get an idea of how long this strip needs to be. So I'm just going to cut it right here, then pin it in place properly. Put the seam down on the other side and then slip it over like a tube. Okay, so I'm just putting a pin there so it can hold it. Then I'm going to remove it off of the basket, I'm going to turn this right side to right side, and then line it up according to the hem, pin it back in place, and stitch a seam. Then I'll trim off the excess. Okay, so I have sewn the other side together, so now I have two seams. And if I place the two seams in the center, I would like it to be in the center of the back of the sewing box. So to try it on, I'm going to turn the sewing box over and simply attempt to slide it on, pairing up both of the seams in the center of the back of the box. Well, so far nice and taut. Looks good so far. Just going to pull up the fabric now. And now I'm going to begin tucking the fabric underneath the rim, like so. Now I'm not gluing it down yet, because I'm going to put hot glue underneath the rim, but I just want to make sure that I like the overall fit. And then, because this is where the hinge line is, I'm going to have to neatly work around that, cut it open, cut like a little square out, and neatly expose the, actually, no, I think this can fit under. Let's see. Yes, it can. Okay. Don't have to cut out anything, actually. That's great. Okay. So, but overall, I'm just going to tuck it all the way around just to make sure that I like the fit, which I do so far, and it all measures the way I want it to according to the hemline at the bottom. Okay, so we are finished, and I am super excited about this project because I love the way it came out. It ties into the theme of my studio, and the bold accent fabric in my studio is this red and white polka dot fabric, followed by the colors of the turquoise, the teals, the whites, the goldenrods. So I really like the way this came out. It looks very professional, the clean lines, everything is straight. And as you can see, I added embellishment of the trim, that is, and the lace trim, just to give it a punch of more color. It did look okay without the trim, but it just looks phenomenal with it. And once you open it up, let me just make sure I could get this in the camera. Once you open it up, back up here. I really love the way it looks when you open it up. Just back up. It just looks really good. Really, really good. And the inside, I didn't do anything to the inside because the inside was so much intact. I didn't want to do anything, and I even considered just relining this, the pattern, but that would have really just been a waste of fabric. And this is my sewing box. It's not like it's in order or I'm giving it to someone. This is for me, and I didn't want to waste fabric for me, I guess. But overall, I am very pleased with the way this came out. Well, that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining in on this do-it-yourself project. And for more tutorials, you can always log on to sewitandshowit.com, or you can find me at candiahainsworth.com. And until then, I'll see you next time.